Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Allincrypto here, and today we have another jam-packed daily cryptocurrency market update for you. We have a lot to cover. It's going to be quite news-focused, as there are some dark clouds hanging over the crypto space. Obviously, FTX, which we'll dive into. We did a report on Allincrypto yesterday, looking at the court filing that was made yesterday. The official court filing and official documents. We'll dive into that. You've also got Binance, rumors about their insolvency due to the BNB token, which we're going to cover. Today, you have Gary Gensler testifying in front of Congress. We're going to do a write-up on that on our website after the video, but we'll dive into it a little bit in this daily market update. There's a lot for us to get into, but we really are going to start things off with the charts. And yesterday was a very interesting day, and I think you've got to remember right now there's very little volatility, very little volume, and very little interest in the crypto space. And that kind of comes seasonally with the likes of September, which has been titled Rectember. We've said for the month of September, expect more downside. We don't necessarily think it's going to be significant. We are bulls, ladies and gentlemen. And altcoins have been a rough ride. I'm not going to hide the fact. If we've been buying since January, if you want to find out what I'm buying, please do consider becoming a Patreon. We did an amazing update on Sunday. Some of your altcoins have gone in. If we use DOT, for example, which I'm sure you guys, it's no surprise we hold, from January's lows and these kind of lows, it's down marginally. But we've always said we were never going to be able to time the perfect bottom, and we're not trying to sell anybody a pipe dream here. However, we are bulls. We think the crypto revival is here. We think Bitcoin is leading the way. We've assessed the macro, which we've got exceptionally right. We should have been called all in stocks, because we have been 100% right on the stock market over the past 9 months, and we expect we're going to continue to do so. We've also done lots of looking into rates, how they affect markets, and everything in between. So we are bulls, and we think people, again, are jumping the gun on being bearish here. And we did say a short squeeze was coming. Look at that. You retraced all of yesterday's move. You engulfed it today. And this had everyone calling for 12K. I think this had a lot to do with the FTX news, which we'll dive into in just a second. And with the FTX news, there's a lot of, as always, with crypto, Twitter, and YouTube, Chinese whispers. Yesterday, we actually did a report. We'll dive into some of the news at the moment on the court filing that was made officially by the people in charge of the bankruptcy case in regards to FTX. And they gave a lot of updates. We have said, and we've continued to say, you can see this was titled yesterday, that they aren't going to market dump, right? Why people think they would market dump and diminish their... I mean, if they market dumped even 200 million of whatever it is they're planning on selling, whether it's Solana, the price would, really get hit very hard. I mean, that's, nearly a 20th of the market cap, let alone... everything that goes in between. So they're not going to market dump. There are schedules here for bids to be taken in, bid discussion, how they're going to sell it. It's likely going to be OTC. Come and check this article out, guys. We'll leave a link to it in the description. They gave a full update on their digital holdings, and they also gave timelines for a number of things. They reckon they've got about 7 billion, only 3.4 billion is actually in crypto, and they actually didn't give deadlines or time starts for when they were actually going to start selling. They aren't going to do it. Of course, Solana got hit very hard. And generally the market did at a time where there's very little interest, very little volume. If we look at, this is OBV, but what we want is historic volatility. This is at a bear market low point, which for me is very interesting. The last time you were down here in terms of volatility was your bear market over here. So come check the website out, guys, if you haven't already, allincrypto.com. We're massively proud to have launched it, and we are going to keep everyone up to date on this. There are rumors that it's not just FTX, that you also have a lot of VC funds out there. Moreover, FTX isn't the only major seller in the market. Crypto venture capital funds are also under immense pressure to return funds to their investors. Yeah, there's still a lot of chaff that needs to be washed out of this space. However, I think at this stage, people are massively over-exaggerating. You've got a lot of hopeful people that they're going to get 12K, 9K Bitcoin, and I just don't think it's going to come. Could you see slightly lower prices for altcoins? I think so. You're seeing it. For me, that's a buying opportunity. We've said expect September to be a downward month, okay? A drift off. And actually, a drift off this kind of a price action is what we've said we want to see. We don't particularly want to see this and then a harsh rejection, because that could set you up for this head and shoulders, which after a 5-wave impulse would set you up for an A, B, and a C. Then you'd be coming down towards the low 20s. You'd have targets for that and a pattern that would give you quite high confluence of it. We want to see this kind of drift off, and this could be very reminiscent, I think, to, and I've traded all this, invested through it here. This is what we want to see. Support be formed, and then you go into October, November, which are historically the most bullish months for Bitcoin, and you get some sort of a price action like that. We are not bears here, and we think the bears are, it's a boring story for them. Bearish here, bearish here, bearish here, so on and so forth. We've gone against the grain, and we're continuing to go against the grain. We don't think a demand destructive event is coming. We've done lots of looking into that in relation to what causes it, rates, and everything in between, the yield curve. We think crypto actually doesn't look that bad, and right now you're just suffering from a lack of interest with a influx of bad news, and you can see actually that's represented in Solana and how much it's sold off in respect to other cryptos. It's been quite a news-driven sell-off, and a lot of speculation when people don't really know the truth. The other news, of course, is BNB and Binance. So not familiar with this guy. This isn't any dig at this individual here. I'm completely unfamiliar. We're just using his tweet. Binance is on the brink. They sell customer funds to pump BNB anymore, with regulatory agencies eyeing them for whatever fraud. It's CZ can't find the reserves to prop up BNB. All BNB longs up here become forced sellers real quick. I'm not sure where he's basing 42 cents on, or $42 on. We go over to a BNB chart, I would imagine that the only basis he's got for that is obviously this is where your prior volume was at. So he'll be looking at some area like that. But we don't want to be one of the people that says leave CZ alone, but we've actually stuck by CZ and said, actually, we think he's one of the better actors in the space, and we wish him all. We wish if Binance went insolvent, I don't think people would quite understand the magnitude of what that would mean. And we don't actually think Binance will go insolvent. However, that's not a guarantee. The best practice, I always believe, is self-custody. So people are massively hating and short on Binance. I think that's a danger as well. However, we do know Binance are under a lot of pressure. Binance US calls SEC's court request unreasonable in new filing. This, of course, was recent. This was filed on the 12th of September, so today. The burden imposed by these depositions far outweighs their potential benefits, and the discovery sought is disproportionate to the needs of contemplated by the consent orders. So I have to say, and maybe it's because it's impossible to account crypto on that scale, but you would feel like Binance would be able to provide what's needed, but maybe they can't, and maybe there's a reason for that. But they have been, I think, quite transparent throughout, and I don't think a bad actor, despite everybody wanting them to be. And I think you've got a lot of people out there that are very optimistic, that are still waiting to buy, that have missed a lot of the moves that have taken place this year. I would just err on the side of caution of being greedy. The crypto revival is here. The halving's around the corner. All major institutions are stepping into crypto. They've all got blockchain plans. We're seeing it with a lot of the smaller projects that we cover. And I just think people need to be very careful in regards to being greedy. Let's move on to obviously what's taking place today. This is new ahead of tomorrow's banking GOP, which will be a kind of committee hearing. Gary Gensler released a testimony he will give to the committee. Here's what he will have to say about crypto tomorrow. We'll be doing a write-up on this on the website afterwards if you want to get a bit more of a deep dive. Remember, the website is allincrypto.com. There's a link in the description. We published a great article actually earlier looking at Brian Armstrong's 10 areas he's excited about in crypto. This I think provides some pretty interesting areas to look. We also have an AI bot that will read this to you if you don't want to read it yourself. But we'll see what happens here. We'll see what Gensler has to say. Remember tomorrow, for a little bit of sort of macro housekeeping, you've got CPI, you've got crude oil inventories, and you've got UK GDP month on month. Then on Thursday, you've got ECB rate decision, they're expected to hold. You've got PPIs for the US, and then you've got natural gas sales. And the interesting thing with gas, and this is something that I did on Sunday, is there is typically, or oil, an association with oil and the S&P that's actually a positive one. However, given the monetary regime and what's driving it, it's kind of had a bit of a negative slant on it, of course, because higher inflation is driving the monetary policy, so on and so forth. So we'll see. Today looks interesting. You've got the stock market marginally down. You've got gold marginally down. You've got the dollar seeing a little bit of strength. I think the dollar strength, there could be a little bit more of it. Eventually, it will run out. It's the yields that I'm really watching like a hawk, and other currency pairs. But we'll see what crypto does. So far, it's completely retraced all of yesterday's move. We did share short squeeze was coming, and you've got it. We just expected it not to actually go as far down before you got that short squeeze. We'll see what happens today. Stay tuned. I think whatever Gensler says is going to have a massive impact on the market, and we'll be reporting on it tomorrow in the daily market update. And of course, we'll be writing a review on Allincrypto. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll catch you all in the next one.